You want to stop braking like this and start braking like this. Then watch these 10 tips on this video and I guarantee you will see a higher success rate with potting balls off the brake. Right, the most important thing you need to concern yourself with on the brake is if the rack is tightly racked. If there are any gaps between the balls, like this, then you're going to lose momentum and the balls are going to split nowhere near as nicely as they would as if all the balls were touching. Here's an example of a poorly racked set of balls. There's gaps between all of them. It's going to cause the back to lose momentum as it goes forward, which means it should be left with a cluster of balls in the middle of the table. So the most common question that gets asked on the brake is where to put the cue ball. So the cue ball obviously has to go behind the line. I'd recommend about an inch or maybe an inch and a half from the line. If you're playing the cue ball on the line, then it doesn't allow you to push your cue all the way through. If you play it any further back, you won't be able to get enough power in your shot. So just an inch or so away from the line. When breaking off, it's extremely important to hit the dead centre of the cue ball. A little bit underneath is fine as a stun shot, but hitting anywhere to the left or to the right of the cue ball will cause the cue ball to push in one direction. So if you hit the cue too far on the right, the cue ball will push too far to the left, and vice versa. If you do find that you can't get the ball to come straight back to you or to land in the middle of the table without coming off the cushions, then you need to practice cueing straight. And by doing that, you can simply line up some straight shots. Use your braking cue for this, it's important. A lot of people practice cueing with their normal cue, they don't practice cueing with their brake cue, and the brake is the most important shot in the game. So you need to practice cueing straight with the brake. Another tip for cueing straight is to use your brake cue, put the cue ball in the centre of the table where you would break off from, and play the ball straight down, and hopefully get it to come back and hit your cue on the way back. Another tip is to accelerate through the brake shot. What I mean by that is when you're playing the shot, the cue shouldn't finish here, it should finish somewhere down here. You want to push the cue as far through the cue ball as possible. So you don't want to stop your motion there, you want to push it as far through as possible, rather than just grabbing at it like that. It's important, it keeps the cue level the whole way through, and it helps with your timing as well. If you find you're going in off on the brake more often than not, it's because you're not hitting the front ball full in the face. Or you're putting too much side on the cue ball, which is causing it to throw to either side and go in one of the middle pockets. To make sure that you're not going to go in off, you need to line the balls up dead straight, and make sure you hit the dead centre of the cue ball or just below with no side at all. Something like this. The stance on the shot is also really important. You want to step into the shot like any other and make sure your weight is distributed evenly between you, and when you take the shot, you can put most of your weight onto your left leg compared to your right. This allows you to help push the cue ball forward and push the cue completely through the cue ball as far down the table as possible. On a normal shot, you'd be placing your hand on the table like this and resting your cue in between your thumb and your first finger. In this case, this is no good for the brake because it allows your cue to jump up and move around. When you're playing such a powerful shot like that, you want to keep the cue as strict as possible, so not allowing it to go up, down or anywhere. So the hand flat on the table, thumb goes underneath, cue goes underneath the first finger, and you squeeze it tight to make sure that it can't go anywhere. The cup brake's a great alternative to the front ball brake. A lot of the youngsters use it because they can't get as much power through the pack. If you hit the cup brake well, the ball you hit will go into this middle pocket here. If you were to brake from this side, it would be this yellow ball here going into this middle pocket. Another thing to mention with the cup brake is a lot of players try and put too much power into it, like they're playing the front ball brake, and the cue ball will fly off the table and land on the floor, giving your opponent 2 shots. So to make sure the cue ball doesn't jump off the table, you want to make sure your cue is as level as possible. So you need to get down on your shot, aim for the second ball in, and if your cue isn't level, try putting your right foot back slightly, and that should help you keep your cue nice and level.
Brushing the table and making sure the playing surface is as clean as possible will allow you to have a much nicer split. There'll be no bobbles or hair in the way of the table, so the balls can go as quick as possible across the table, leaving you with a much nicer split in the end. If you're playing in a club that don't get their cloth changed very often, then you're going to struggle to see the ball split as nicely as you would as if you were playing here.
So tip number 10 is going to be practicing your brake. It sounds really easy and really obvious, but people do not practice the brake at all. You practice other shots like screw, top spin, side and all that, but people don't practice the brake. As a warm-up, I'd say rack the balls up 10 times, break them off, and count how many balls you potted overall and how many times you went dry, and try and improve on that next time you come down. Recording it also helps you keep track of how many balls you pot and where the cue ball lands on the table as well.
At first glance, this probably looked like a really good break, so I made 2 balls and the ball split really nicely. But as you can see, the white ball went really close to the middle, so that's the benefit of recording your breaks. You can see where the cue ball goes, and you know next time that I put too much side on it and I need to start hitting the centre of the cue ball and making sure I'm hitting the front ball full in the face.
The benefits of having a braking cue that is bigger than your playing cue in width is because with a smaller, thinner cue, you've got more chance of putting side spin on the cue ball. With a thicker tip, you've got more surface area to hit the cue ball dead centre to make sure there's no side spin on the ball. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did enjoy, please leave a like, comment and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.